All right, everybody, let's take a look and see what happened today right from the very beginning. What is up with that candlestick? Oh, boy. Gravestone Doji. Gravestone. Look at that thing. 2 days ago I said we had this doji here. Almost an evening star, but not quite. But this is definitely a Gravestone Doji. Though it wasn't on a gap up. And honestly, look down here, guys. Look, a shipping freighter could go through this Panama Canal here. Look at the size of the gap in that MACD. Stock market looks very strong, doesn't it? My goodness, look at that. I mean, if you only looked at the MACD, you'd say there's no indication of anything slowing down soon. The stochastic momentum index certainly looks kind of peaky. This little tapering off going on there kind of reminds me of, well, it kind of reminds me of, take your pick, either this little section here or this one. More like that one right there. So, a little, maybe a little sign of weakness there on the MACD. Earlier today, the Big Daddy forecast got up to about 427, almost 430 for a little while there. I was like, but it backed off, so no great concern there. But yeah, definitely something to watch with that Gravestone Doji. Could mean something. I thought we had something there. But this carries a little more weight than that one, for sure. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so now for cycles. I know some people wanted to know about what's up with the cycles. What's up with the cycles? Well, I think I got a better feel for the cycles now. Sometimes when we get these extended runs like this one, okay, they go on for a while, they definitely interrupt the flow of cycle patterns. Okay. However, I believe this is a pretty decent confidence that this is the beginning of a new cycle right here. And I'll tell you why I think that is. Let's go back here just a little bit. Let me scroll to the left a little bit and I'll talk about this briefly here. You'll notice back over here, price went up for about 4 days, maybe 5 days, and then you'd see how it tracks sideways, right? A little bit of chop going on there. Here did the same thing, up 3 days, sideways chop. Okay. Let me see if we got one before that. Yeah, very similar even back here. Up for about 4 days, maybe 5, then you get that chop, right? So now let's go and look at the recent significant price increase here. So we come up about 5 days and then we get this chop right here, a little bit of chop going sideways. Now this is a much greater magnitude than what we had back in the summertime, obviously. But I feel pretty confident with this little chop that we got right there. This looks like a pattern that's fairly recognizable. So I don't think this is the low, the start of a new cycle right here. I think it's right here. So we're going to go with that for now. Okay, and this cycle right here that runs all the way, for now I'm anchoring it on this side on 11/16. Okay, because we're not really sure where this cycle is going to end, but 11/16 is pretty good because that's going to be the VIX expiration. Now there's also 3 days later, this will be a Tuesday, the third Tuesday of November, but that Friday is 11/19. Probably can't see too well on the screen, but this is 11/19 right here. That's, of course, the monthly expirations for the index options. So somewhere in that third week of November would be very typical where you'd see the end of a cycle. Could even go a little bit into the next week, like Monday, Tuesday, next week, which would be like, I guess, maybe the 22nd, the 23rd, maybe something like that, 22nd, 23rd. So that third week, maybe going a little bit into the fourth week, would be a typical place to expect a cycle low. So that's my take on the new cycle. I feel pretty confident about the cycle starting here. Not too sure where it's going to end, but for now we'll stick with the VIX expiration on this side. So this is obviously subject to change, but for now we're going to say the middle of this cycle is right here. And if I'm not mistaken, that cycle is, or I should say that middle, yeah, is 1029, 1030-ish. Okay, somewhere right around there. So I think as we approach the very end of this month and the beginning of next month, November 1st, you know, it's possible we could see some sideways chop here. I mean, look back here. We had similar type of stuff going on. Once you come out of that run, you get that sideways chop. You get an up day here. We get some more kind of choppy chop. But overall, it's kind of moving up, right? Same thing here. Comes over, chops, get a good day. Then we get into sideways, more sideways chop. Okay. Not saying it's going to repeat what the summertime patterns were, but wouldn't be surprised if we saw some chop in there. Possibly price decline. That's also possible, especially if you get a GraveStone doji like that. But you know, this thing, oh my goodness, down here, this huge gap, yeah, that hasn't closed at all. You know, if it starts to close down a little bit, right? Starts doing one of those and closing down, okay, then maybe we'll see a price stall, maybe even a price decline coming down into the first of the month. But we'll have to see how it goes. So it wouldn't surprise us to see price stall or price decline coming in, you know, as we go towards the first of the month. Not saying it's going to happen with this kind of strength, but it could. Okay, VIX been kind of just hanging around 15 area. You know, Friday was 43, came down a little bit, back to today, back up. You know, just kind of sitting around in that 15 area. So we do see a little bit. There was a small little something going on right there, which was a day or two after that little peak in the Big Daddy. But like I said, today we're looking at 353. That's nothing to be concerned about. At one point, like I said earlier, we almost got to 430 in the middle of the day. But it doesn't really matter so much what it does in the middle of the day. It's always what it does at the close that really matters. So this is the number right here, 453. Yeah, for me, not a big number. Not something telling me to say, watch out, we're going to get some price decline. Okay, but believe it or not, the big star of the day was not the S&P 500, which, you know, once again had this kind of smallish range at 29. We're going to switch over. I'm going to show you two other products I want you to see that were definitely the star of the day, and it definitely was not the S&P 500. Though I did trade the S&P 500. By the way, stick around because I'm going to show you my profit loss coming up here for the day. Made a little bit of money on the S&P 500, but that's not what really shined today. So stick with me for 1 second. We'll switch over. Okay, the first thing I want to show you here is wheat. Look at this, guys. Look at this pattern. Look at that. Boom. Got a crossover happening right here. Big Daddy starting to come down. Okay, you can forget about the VIX. Wheat doesn't really have nothing to do with the VIX. That's just some leftover stuff. And then the MACD, of course, is, you know, kind of tight for wheat. So not really paying attention to these two indicators at all for wheat. But this is looking really tasty for a short side trade right here. And look at these patterns. Let me just, probably should look at the December contract. Look at these patterns, guys, these cycles. Look at this. Look at this one. Boom, bam. This one, look at that. Within what, 2 or 3 days? The low right there. Now we're in this one. Coming up. Though I will caution, in the middle of cycles, sometimes wheat will play some tricks. You know, you see how over here you think well, that happened. Well, that was a left-hand translation, but like this one. Kind of coming towards the middle of the cycle. This one right here. Talking about this cycle right here. Kind of in the middle of the cycle right here, but not quite, and you get this price decline. And it kind of gives you a head fake and takes off. So got to be careful about that. Even look how elevated the stochastic was, and even the Big Daddy. So we definitely got the price decline, but boy, you needed to know when to get out, right? Big Daddy gave you a little bit of a hint here when to get out, right? On that day right there, get out of there. So you would know the next day, okay, time to get out. So we got to watch out for a little head fake. Sometimes it'll happen, but this is looking really good for a short side trade. So I have a small short side trade going on here on the E-mini. We shall see how it plays out, but that's looking pretty good. I wanted to show everybody that. I made some pretty good money on wheat in my last trade, probably about a month or maybe more than a month ago. I don't remember when it was, but it might have been down into this cycle here, or it might have been even coming up. I don't remember, but yeah. So this is looking really good, guys. Really liking what I'm seeing here in this cycle right here. Maybe, hopefully tomorrow we get a couple, tomorrow and the next I get a couple down days. Take advantage of that. Short it here. Close the position as soon as we see any kind of stalling of the price action. Okay, especially if the Big Daddy comes down here and kind of touches this line, does one of those deals, might want to get out, right? All right, so that's number one. Now I'm going to show you my profit loss for today. Let's switch over to that. All right, guys, look at this ARLP. Been talking about this last couple days. Look at this run. S&P 500. What? Nah, we don't need to be trading S&P 500 when we got this going on. Look at this just today alone, guys. $962. I'm up $1,500 on this position. Now, admittedly, there may be some pullback on this as we approach this dividend. But wow, I mean, we're down here. Look at even touch here on the Big Daddy. The last time that happened was over here. The last time we got a touch at the bottom of the Big Daddy was here, and look what it did. Blast off. And we went all the way from about 750-ish up to $10. My goodness. From there to there. Look at that. Bonk. $2.50 run. And with this 20-cent dividend and these huge earnings report, talked about this yesterday, gonna say it again. $15 to $20 may not all happen in this particular run we're in the middle of now, whatever. But eventually, I think we're gonna get there, right? This thing is a monster stock right now. Yeah, huge. Could close this out for a profit, but you know what? I'm gonna stick around. I think for the nice little earnings. The dividend. Looking at 520 there for dividend. Don't mind that. And even if this thing pulls back a little bit, I don't think I'm too worried, guys. Like I said yesterday, I'll mention it again. Look at this, guys. This is when the stock market pulled back during this time right here. Look what this stock did. Just went sideways. You don't see any of that going on. And this is supposed to be a cycle low. It only did 3 days down and said, that's enough. This thing is off to the races. So the star of the day, and I'm sure there's others more than this stock, but since I was already on this, definitely had to show this ARLP. Wow. Monster mash in it. Absolute monster mash. Huge day. 3% gain. At one point, I think it was up like 43 cents on the day or 45 cents, something like that on the day. Pulled back a little bit here on the end of the day, but wow. Great stock going on here. Okay, guys and gals, that's it for today. Please subscribe. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to say next, don't forget to click the little bell to be notified of all the videos I put them out. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.